All right. Well, as we start segment two, uh, let's first recap a little bit. We've gone over how to set up a match, how to draw, how to score, and how all that works. But before we get into the side matches, let's cover one really important thing here. Uh, Backups. Backups are extremely important. Number one thing to do is to back up, because if you ever run into a problem, generally most problems are due to just entering bad data. Sometimes it just gets out of hand and you can't get it recovered. You can always go back to the last round where everything was correct and re-enter and pick up right where you left off. So I just want to show you, I believe I have a screen open here. Let me diminish this. Right here is in the Cowboy Fast Draw Basic, which is in your C drive, which automatically gets installed when you've installed this program, is the Cowboy Fast Draw Basic file. Now, of course, I have a lot of stuff in mind because I've been running a lot of test matches and backing up matches. But for matches in progress, I recommend, and we just recommend that you go through here and get your C drive all set up ahead of time and see where we have round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've set up 13 rounds, just round, lowercase, and whatever round. I have those pre-set up in my program. And so any match that you're running in progress, we're going to go to backing up around here a second, but this is in the C drive under Basic, Cowboy Fast Draw Basic, where you're going to find the last round that you scored in case you ever get into trouble. But the only reason these will be here is if you, in fact, do back up your rounds. So, back to the program here. This one here, if you want to back up, it's very simple. This default box comes up. As soon as you hit backup or restore, number 1 shows first. In other words, it wants you to back up. So if I'm in round 1 of the match, say, okay, it's instantly going to take me to Cowboy Fast Draw Basic. You see it kind of highlighted there? Just press on that, and then you can scroll down to round 1. As soon as you've entered everyone into round 1, before you draw round 2, that is the perfect time to back up round 1. So I'm just going to go okay. And it just takes less than once you get used to doing this is about a 10 or 15 second process. And then you can rest assured that you can go forward in this match and always go back to a point where you don't have to redo a whole match. That can get unbelievably bad. So this is a great aspect of this program to allow you to back up. And then if you ever want to restore from there, you just hit this again. Remember how we restored from the registration master earlier? Same deal. All you do is just change this to number 2 and pop up, and it's going to take you to the same Fast Draw Basic. And if the last round that was correct in your thing was round 1, go there, hit OK, and it's going to restore. See, I just backed up into round 1, so I know by restoring from round 1, I'm picking up right where I left off. Now, mind you, this match we've already run to the conclusion. It was just a standard match, and it brings it right back into the program. So it's a great way. This is a great safety factor in this program if you use it. All too often, especially in small club matches, we get in the use as soon as because we want to keep the match running. So it's really, you got to kind of discipline yourself to back up every round before going further. So, okay, well, that's the subject on backups. All right, so now we would like to run a side match. Now, this is one of the really unique and great things about this program. So many people just automatically go to the cards when they're running category matches and side matches. And yes, you can certainly do that. Going to the cards is in fact, we've recommended for years that people, when you're beginning a match, you should always have cards filled out for all the shooters, just in case something happens to your scoring program. It could be a corrupt computer. We don't know. And so As long as you're doing your match standings reports and running them out, even if you get halfway through a match and you run into the problems, you should have cards ready to go. So let's set up a side match. Well, that's kind of a neat thing this program does right here. So I'm going to clear the previous bracket match. It says bracket match because that's the last thing I tested on this program. But I'm going to clear this one out, the one that's in the system. And there we have that blank screen. So let's just go ahead and say we're going to put the title of the match, let's run. Okay, now there's two kind of side matches you run. We'll get to that in a second. But let's run a category match. We're going to say category, and today is June 1st. And so we can do there, we can update the calendar. Operates pretty much the same way the main system does. So today's June 1st, 19. I'm still a decade behind here, a millennium behind. It's 2015. So we're going to do a very popular 2X matches, are very popular in category matches. And we're running the category match. Now, the reason it's important that you know which one you're going to be running is because the category match is it shows you all of the type of, for categories of all the shooters. The bracket match only shows the 4 brackets that we have pre-set up in this thing. You can always add more categories, more brackets in your maintenance, your maintenance portion of the program. So we're not going to cover that at this time. So anyway, we're going to run a category match, and let's say we're going to run it on 2 ranges, and I'm just entering in 6 and 12 because that's what we're doing. And you hit enter or exit, excuse me. Now this is new. This is all set up, ready to go, and registration goes really good, just like the last one did. But here's something that's really kind of neat is when you register people into a category match or a bracket match, either one, and you've already run a main match on this program that's still set up in there. What's really unique is that if there's shooter numbers in there of people that are in that match, then you're all set. And in the case where you can, I'm trying to find the shooter numbers right now, and let me stop the recording and get set up for this segment. Okay, I'm back now. Well, I picked out two shooters that have life membership numbers just because I knew what they happened were. Let's enter M. Chisholm because he is entered into this match. And as soon as I enter in L252 and hit enter, notice how all of his information automatically pops up. The only thing that doesn't pop up is his category, because that has to be assigned in a side match each and every time. And so Chisholm, he's in men's super senior, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go, okay, register another shooter. And he's set up. Now let's go on the ladies' side. We have Blondie, whose membership number L150, and there she is. And let's see, let's enter into ladies traditional, and so that'll keep count just like we do the main match. Here's your number of registered shooters, and away you go. And so once you have everyone entered, and for the purposes of that, I'm going to now back up, or I'm going to restore a match I previously ran, one of my test matches. This is why this is so important, these registration masters. Let's go back in here and find a registration master for a category. And here's one right here. Nice one. It was 213. Ran it in February. It has 56 shooters in categories. So let's restore that one just for practicing. And now you'll see it update the program, and I'm back ready to test run a category match. Now isn't that cool? I can practice all I want, as long as I keep those registration masters. Okay, so now I've got that uploaded. Now let's do, over here we can do our category match reports. and we have a registration list. Now here's all the people that I had entered and run through this match. There's a registration list that keeps them all alphabetical. That's really, really handy for when you're entering people in the match. It shows all here's all the shooters from alphabetical top to bottom and what their category is. So when you're have pre-registration for a match and you want to check them in that morning, this is a great list to do it from. And you can verify their category, their state, their numbers, everything. So that's a real handy one. But this is a great one for a roll call right here, because right there you've got all of the different categories and the shooters that are in them. And so makes it very, very handy. And this was a test match, so there's a lot of shooters in here that this is not the actual category that they currently shoot, but for testing purposes, we didn't worry about those details. And so that's how it all works right there. So now we got a great 56 shooter match set up to where you can do a roll call. And when you're confirmed that everybody's there and ready to go, you're good. Always do that registration master again before you draw that first round. Very important. So, now we get into let's just draw round one. Now, once again, here's all the now it's saying category instead of bracket. Remember earlier this said bracket, but now it says category. Same over here. So that's the way you know when you're in that far right column for actually drawing, entering, and scoring a match over on this side. So let's draw round one. And now here's what's very important. We had some ranges set up. In fact, since I restored this one, let's cancel that round, set up new category match. Let's check our category match setup from that one that I've transferred over. Now, this screen tells you a lot right here. This screen tells you a lot. And now, because see all these categories, we have 6 categories in here. You can see the shooters in them, the round to draw, the round scored, the shooters remaining in those. So this is a great little control screen here to see where you are on the status of your match. Now, here's what's very important. It's very important not to always keep your place where you're at when you're running the category or a bracket match. Just don't start drawing rounds and not keeping track of things. It's because once you get behind the curve on where you're at, you can still kind of find it here, but it's going to take you time to recover. And sometimes you'll be drawing multiple rounds, and that really gets confusing to sort out. So don't dig that hole for yourself. And so what's really important here is soon as, when at the very beginning of your match, the very beginning, draw all of your categories, all of them for round one. Just get them all drawn and set up, and everything's working right. As soon as the category score sheets are coming into you, what you want to do is enter them in and draw the next round immediately. Do not wait. Do not wait to draw that round because you may get out of place. You can always go back here and see round to draw and round scored. You can keep up with it, but what happens is if you start drawing multiple times for the same round, and man, this thing can get out of hand on you. So don't let that happen. So that's the best tip I can give you right there, is to keep your place. And there is no reason to shoot all of your 49ers through, then all of this category through, and this one, and this one, and this one, because you leave these people at the end standing around all day with nothing to do. And once the 49ers are done, then they're standing around all day with nothing to do for the rest of the day, except watch their friends and families that are in these ones. You're keeping them there all day, and they're only shooting for a little bit of time. So don't run your matches that way. Just assign them to the ranges, and then just keep alternating them. And the shooters will enjoy it more. They'll enjoy the flow of the match all day long and be involved all day long. So that's a very important aspect. So now let's go back and draw. Now here's something you got to get used to and you got to practice. Okay, we have two ranges set up, ranges A and B, don't we? So we're going to go range A and enter. Now see how it shows all the categories that you can draw right now? What you're in fact doing, the reason you got to select a range first is because you're going to assign that category to shoot on that range. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And you know, as your match goes on through the day, you can select and put them on a different range. When it gets down to near the finals, you can confine them all to A range, for instance. So everybody's all in one place instead of being spread out. At the Fastest Gun Alive, we run our categories on all four ranges that are active. And boy, that can get out of hand in a hurry if you're not keeping track of it. So you want to always assign your shooters to the ranges, keep them there until it starts. You might start combining it down to two ranges once you're halfway through the match, so you're not have everybody spread out so much. And because don't forget, you also need staff to run the shooters through. And so shooters from one category can help run the shooters from the other categories. So keep them combined in one place. It just depends on the size of your match. So let's just say in round one, I'm just going to draw them in order. Next round to be printed is round one. And so there's round one, and I've got it set up to, it just printed out the lane assignment. And so there we go. So it operates. Let's just draw all the rounds. Whoop, I hit the wrong button. See, I went to the left column. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to cancel that. And you got to go through all that. So let's draw all of our rounds. I'm going to assign the first three categories to range A and the second three to range B. You just hit A, enter. Now we're at ladies 49er. Now we're going to get into range B. Range B, ladies traditional. Men's shootist. And men's traditional. So now I have three categories assigned to range A and three to range B. Now sometimes you're going to want to fit those more to how many shooters there are in each category, so your ranges are somewhat balanced by the amount of shooters, because some categories may only have a few shooters, others may have 20 shooters. And so you want to keep in mind the size of your categories. You want to plan balancing your ranges a little bit when you're scorekeeping a major match. So that's how you draw your rounds, and the next segment will be scoring those rounds. Okay, now we're going to score the category match, and we're simply going to go very similar to what we did in the main match. We're just going to go category match, enter scores. So now here's a different kind of a screen. This is where this program takes a little practice to get used to, but once you do, it really is simple to operate. So the first score sheet I'm looking at here is men's 49er. And so you just go down to this drop-down list, and it shows you your ranges and what categories you have assigned to those. And 49er is just 49er. That's men's 49er. L49 is ladies 49er. So you need to understand that. We have traditional, and then we have ladies traditional. So those are the acronyms you need to get used to a little bit. They make sense in the sense that if it's a ladies one, there's an L in front of it. If there's no L in front of it, it's automatically a men's category. So that's a little bit thing you need to understand about this program. So I said men's 49ers, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that one, and I'm going to score round one, page number one. Whoop, I entered in a bad data there. Page number one. And so it's the Deadeye Kid. Is that there at the top? Of course, he's not a 49er. He's 30. There's a lot of people here that, like I said, this is just a practice match, and we just assign people to categories just for scoring purposes. So I'm going to go through, and you enter them the same basic way you enter the other ones, X, and their fastest time, and you go down the list. Okay, I've already entered page 1 of the men's 49er, and now I've got to enter page 2, so I need to go right back here. I go score next page, I come to this box, go back to 49er, round 1, page 2, and I have 2 more shooters to score, so I'm going to go an X 455 and a W 444. Now, I'm going to tell you something. On that first page, I gave everyone an X because I want to get through this practice match fairly quickly and test its functions. So I did not make up a whole bunch of different times. This is, you can do these things in practice matches just to test the system. So now, once I've hit this, if I've done everything right and have this page is entered from that category, once again, we're going to come up with a match standings report. You see that? Everybody's got 1X except that first shooter, Dirty Harry, that I gave a W. And so this means in the second round, we're going to be getting down. There's going to be a lot of the shooters eliminated right there. And so we'll show you that here in a minute. So now, as soon as I like to print these match standings with a Control P or up here in our printer button. Go ahead and print them. Keep them there right next to your score sheets so you can really track. You can always see what's going on in the match. You want to post these for the shooters, and especially in the larger matches. Small club matches, a little hard. But now here's the trick for never getting out of order. Go directly here. You do not have to have all of your categories entered before you can draw that next round. As soon as you enter one category, draw that next round. So I'm going to reassign the men's 49ers to range A again because I'm going to keep them there. We'll bring that up. Next round to be printed is 2, and now it's printing. And it keeps everything in order. And even though they're already running other categories, have your runner take these to the score sheet and put them right on the bottom of the stack of score sheets that is assigned to that range, because they'll just keep bringing them to the top, and they're calling hand judges from the next category to hand judge the one that's being shot right now. So that's why you want to keep the flow of score sheets going right through there. And you're going to find out that since you're alternating the categories, it's really not a hard thing to keep up with as long as you don't get out of place with this program. And so let's go ahead and we're just going to bring that one category to its conclusion to show you how it works. Okay, I have scored page 1 of the men's 49ers once again category, and I've got the second page. Because we have 12 shooters, there's 14 shooters in that match. Now I've assigned most of them X's with graduating times this time, and I have a system for doing that. So let's give these last 2 shooters wins. And I forgot to make sure my cursor was on here. Okay, so I'm going to do score next page, and you see that here's all of my just like we do the match standings report. This is golden here, and I've actually entered in all these different numbers this time, so I can make sure that they all rank them properly and everything for testing purposes. So now I've got those done, and let's draw round 3. Once again, remember range A. And we're still working on the men's 49ers, even though for an actual match, I would be alternating all of these categories as I've gone. But I just want to show you the conclusion of men's 49er here. So let's draw round 3. And I go to enter. Remember that drop-down menu? I've got range A is 49ers, round 3. Page 1. Now there will only be one page because most of them were out of the match. So this is a very easy thing to enter. So let's just go. Let's leave Dirty Harry the winner. He won. his first round. Let's give an X to Desert Gator. We'll give a win to Deadeye Kid. X to this one. And a win over here. So let's, it gets right down to it. So now we only have 3 shooters left in this match. And so the next round, of course, will be a bye. See, they're all staged there. And so let's draw this one. And now, mind you, if I was running the match, I would be taking the time to back up each and every round right here. I really would. And so let's go back to range A, because that's where we're going to keep them. Men's 49ers. And we're printing out the next score sheet. And drop down list, A 49er. And around to score was, we were at round 4, were we not? Okay, there's our buy. So just for fun here, 2 shooters have 1X, Dirty Harry has none. So for score, just to test this program, we're going to give an X and a 99 to this one. There was a match DQ. We're going to do an X right here just because I don't want to run another round. And let's do a 33. There was a round DQ on that one, and we'll give Dirty Harry here. Well, let's just say even Dirty Harry, maybe these 2 guys both shot in the holster, and so let's give them both a 33 and see what happens to our match result. Because what's going to happen, that will give Captain Jack his second X, which will eliminate him from the 2X match. This will be only 1X for Dirty Harry, and let's see what happens to the match results. You see that? It put Deadeye Kid in 3rd place. He got a match DQ for whatever he did there. And but it still gives him 3rd place in the match because he successfully completed all the other rounds. And even though he can never advance any further to the next round with a 99, it is not, a match DQ doesn't put you all the way down to the bottom, last place in the entire match. And so it means you just cannot go forward. So right here, shooter number 2nd place, my good friend Captain Jack, he committed a round DQ. Whether he just lost a round or a round DQ, he would be in 2nd place. And Dirty Harry, even though he had a round DQ, he ends up winning the match because he only had 1X. He had no X's going into this round. It was a 2X match. So that's how it works. And so we're going to set up a bracket match next. All right, so we're back, and this time we're going to set up a bracket match. Now, to set up the bracket match, earlier in the last segment, I showed how to do a bracket report. Our main match is still in here, and I'm going to run a bracket report from it. And in that main match, there were 80 shooters in that match. You see all of them right there? And they're all, it's just the 2nd fastest time they recorded in our scoring program. So that you enter in the XW or fastest time of that round every time. But we cannot enter in every match fired in a contest. You know, every time fired in a match is too labor intensive to enter into the scoring program. In 2007, we had a scoring program like that, and it just made the entry, you know, I know a lot of shooters, I want to see every shot fired in the match, right? But you know what we do, and a lot of you understand this because we post every score sheet on our CFDA website for the Fastest Gun Alive. So technically, everyone who shoots that match or anybody that even doesn't shoot the match can go onto our public website and download every page. They can look at every page fired in that match. So it's kind of a neat thing that we do. We post all of our score sheets. So technically, you're posting every time and every miss fired in that match. So it's a lot of people have a lot of fun checking out all those stats. So anyway, here is our bracket report. And so all we do with a bracket report, if there's 80 shooters in it, we'll just print this out and we'll draw a line right across here. and everyone above this line is in Master Gunfighter bracket, and everyone from 21 through 40 is in our Gunfighter bracket. Everyone 41 through 60 is in our Sheriff's bracket, and everyone 61 to 80 is in our Deputy bracket. And this has become a lot of fun, and it goes along with CFDA's principle to let, to just have a competition where people have a chance to win at every level. Doesn't mean everybody wins. Everybody doesn't want everyone just to automatically get a show-up trophy. But you know what? People just want a chance to win at every level. And that's the whole thing about bracket matches, why they become so popular. So, there again, when I go to set this up, as soon as I enter in Deadeye Kid's number, that's why we have them right on this bracket report. You can print this out. As soon as you enter in, as soon as you set up a bracket match and enter in L49, hit enter, Deadeye Kid's data will show up automatically if he has already shot that. If you have a main match on this thing that has already been fired in this system. So that makes it very quick to actually go ahead and get this match set up. You can set up a club bracket match with 30 or 40 shooters in a matter of 10 minutes or less with this system. So I'm going to go ahead and print this out, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, I'm back now. We're going to go ahead and set up a bracket match. And here again, we go to set up new category. Now, had I wanted to keep the results of my category match I just run, I sure would have backed up that program in my Cowboy Fast Draw Basic subsection on my C drive. So here we go. Clear previous match. Yes, we're going to clear the previous match. And it's going to ask you again, are you sure you want to? That's a good function in this thing. So now the slate is wiped clean. We're going to run a test bracket match. And I'm just typing this stuff in here because I'm going to do the thing after I show you how easy it is to enter people in. I'm going to just go ahead and do a backup registration master of a bracket match I've already done, the same as I've done before. But this is how you set it up. You make sure you check the bracket, you enter your date, 2 X's, always very popular. I'm not checking the box here to draw, to print the lane assignment report. We're not going to do that. And so we got, you got to go ahead and set up your ranges again. So we have that done now, and hit exit. And see, remember how it populated this as we entered people in and showed how many shooters? It's going to do the same thing, but with brackets. And so that's a real good function. Always keep control of your match. Now, once again, we're going to start registering people. And we'll start with Deadeye Kid up on the top. You can hit the cap lock at this point so the L's come out capitalized. And we're going to assign him in Master Gunfighter. And boom. See how fast that goes? L. You can go through here and enter people in almost record time. Just that fast. You can probably enter a dozen people a minute if you're just focusing on just that. And so that's how fast that goes. So now, since I don't want to sit here and enter all these people in, I certainly would during the main match. Let's go ahead and restore. Once again, how handy that is. Let's restore an old registration master in our Cowboy Fast Draw Basic. And beta registration master, let's see, we've got a... well, let's see. Registration master. I know I have a bracket match in here somewhere. Thought I did. Well, how about that? Oh, here it is right here. I got 80 shooters in a bracket match. So let's go ahead and take that and restore that for testing purposes here, just to walk you through a few to see how it works. And so now they're just about all loaded up, and we are ready to go. So first thing we want to do, let's see what we got. Let's print a registration list. And now they both came up again. This one for checking in people. If you want to do that, you really don't get a chance to do that except you're going to have a roll call. And so the better page, though, to do the roll call is on this page, and it'll show you one document that everyone's in the right category. So page 1, see, I got 20 shooters in deputy, 20 shooters in gunfighter, 20 shooters in master gunfighter, and 20 shooters in the last bracket we had there, which was for testing purposes sheriff. So you can make sure everything's balanced as a scorekeeper right here and make sure everybody's right. Take a moment, cross-check this with your bracket match report, make sure everything's right, then do a roll call, then you're ready, and back up your registration master, by the way, that day for that match before you draw round 1, and then you can move forward with peace of mind. So now, to draw that round, now see how it says bracket here now instead of category? And so we're going to draw round 1. Once again, we're going to assign a range, and you get to pick. Here's the ones available. It only shows you 4 brackets. Remember how we check bracket matches? It's no longer showing you all the categories that you have to choose from in your category matches. It's only showing the brackets that you have to choose from. And there again, if you ever decide to set up new brackets as the sport grows, we can do that in the control portions of this program, where we can enter in states and all sorts of things, all the maintenance. So we can always add more brackets if we want. So let's go ahead and we're going to draw all the rounds once again. I like to, once I have the match all set up, I like to go through and draw all the rounds. So I've got round 1 draws out of the way. And then I like to when I'm just running one range, I just run 3 brackets on one 6-lane range at our club matches with 30, 35 shooters. And it's very easy to keep up with this program. Because as soon as one bracket gets done with a round, you enter them in, you draw, you put them in the bottom of the stack. It's so simple just to keep everything flowing. In fact, even as the only scorekeeper and actually shooting in the match myself, I can keep up. It gets real tight towards the end of the match to keep up with it for one person. So it's good to have a couple of people scorekeeping, of course. And so you can go right through here, draw your rounds, and just like we did our categories, and we're ready to go. We're going to concentrate on the deputies. And for this, now I've drawn them all, but my first score sheet coming in is going to be the deputies. So there again, we have that drop-down menu. And you see, since I've only drawn the deputies, it's not even showing the other ones at that point that they're even available for scorekeeping. But where you can get into real trouble is when you duplicate drawing rounds because you got out of place. It'll actually show 2 deputies. You get into that when it's showing you 2 of each thing. You know you're out of sync somewhere. So don't do that. But I'm just going to go the deputies. Enter round 1, page 1. Now there's 20 shooters in there, so I've got 2 pages, and so I'll go ahead and get them entered. All right, so now I've got that first page entered from the deputy bracket, and this time this is the second page. I gave everyone an X in this round except 2 people. Well, I did an X plus a 99 for the shooter up on the top, which happens to be Dirty Harry. Heck, he won the last practice match, so he gets a 99 on this one. In the very first round, something happened, or he didn't show up, whatever. So you can 99 him, and he's out in the match any longer. He can't progress in the match to the next round. And then I gave 1 W. So now let's see how the match standing shows. It shows him already out of the match and placed right here. As soon as you give a 99, that gets them out of the match. So, for instance, if someone falls ill during the middle of a match and they come up and say, "Hey, I can't continue shooting," you just give them a 99. They're disqualified because it's more of a DNF, but that immediately gets them out of the system in any kind of a match you're running. They don't show up in the next round, and so that's the best way to handle that. And you can see them all right here, and so I'm not going to go through all the pains of showing you all the way through the bracket match because it runs just like the category match, very similar. And this is what you can practice with. And so we're going to get into a few other things here before we end this recording. I'll be right back to you. All right, a little bit about editing. First, let's edit shooter's information. Now, this is really important. Now, I'm going to run a match report, and I had actually had a mistake in my registration list on the main match. And what the mistake was related to is I have to actually go a few pages. Right here, notice I have 2 Nevada Slims in the men's shootist. Common people can make a mistake when they're entering people's aliases in, things like that. And so if there's a mistake in their state or the alias, what you have to know is their CFDA number is the master file in this program. Everything is taken. That identifies that individual shooting the match, no matter what other information is entered, is that CFDA number. And to talk to you a minute about CFDA numbers also, a CFDA number is not required for this program. We call it CFDA numbers because we really would prefer everyone use a CFDA number. Because, when if you get in the habit, you can actually take and set up a match out of one of our shooter registration, master registration list, and you could actually set up this match 1 through 30 with just off that registration list. And that's all fine and well. You can do that if you want to, but I can tell you it's not a good practice because as you go along and you're backing matches up and maybe want to bring them up for future reference, since that number is the master file, why not just use CFDA numbers? That way you can be doing a practice match, registration masters, practice matches and everything, or you can back up that match for publishing somewhere and it's going to show their CFDA number on there. It just gets confusing if you're going to have made up numbers different for every shooter, every match. So don't get in the habit of entering people, even though it might kind of seem easier and quicker at the time. Use CFDA numbers, and if they're not a CFDA member, just temporarily assign them one for that match, and that's fine. But it just keeps your head straight later, as your scorekeeping, job progresses into the future for your club. So now what we got into here is Nevada Slim is listed twice under men's shootist. But see the 2 different CFDA numbers? I have identified them. This is the real Nevada Slim here, whose membership number 139, and he's from Idaho. We want to leave that alone. And so L99 is our good friend Nevada Smith from Nevada, and Slim got typed in by mistake. So you can catch that yourself on the registration listing. Or during roll call, people go, hey, wait a minute. They'll catch it there for you. But this is one of those things where you can look for duplicated names or even a misspelled alias. You can correct that at this point, but do it before you finally burn your final registration master for the match. So let's see what we got to do. I'm going to pull up edit shooter's information. Now, what's very important here, we're going to type in L99 because we know that's the one. He's the fictitious Nevada Slim. This is really Nevada Smith. So all you really need to do is go through here and go Smith, hit enter, and exit. Okay, now go back in there, type in L99 again, and now you see that's all been corrected, Nevada Smith, and you're good to go. So what we simply do is we can go to edit another shooter if we want. Now, if all else fails and you just say the CFDA number is wrong and you're trying to correct that. Or sometimes it's almost safer to just eliminate that shooter from the match and re-register him. Really doesn't take much more time with this program. We could simply go L99. We could have just removed. Do you wish? It's going to give you that raspberry again. Yes, I'm just going to remove them, and we're just going to enter them again. It only takes a few minutes. Whoop, no CF. Whoop, I went ahead and entered the wrong. Okay, Nevada Smith. Oh, you know what? I need to go back there. I'm talking instead of thinking to re-enter that. I've removed them, but this is not registration. I have to register them right here back into the match. So L99. He's from Nevada. And so really, it doesn't take that much more time when we had him in the men's shootist. And there we are again. So see how easy that is to operate. And then we can go back to our reports, come up with our registration list, and we can find Nevada Slim right and Nevada Smith right in the match right there. So you got two options there. You can remove them from the match and then go back to registration, put them back into the match. It only takes a minute it doesn't take much longer to do that. Some people prefer to do that because it's less chance of making a mistake. So that's a couple of tips for you there on fixing that sort of thing. Well, we're going to end this session and right here, and I just want to tell you that we're so happy that you're all using the new CFDA basic scoring program. We are continuing to work on the original CFD scoring program that's for more match administration, and I really like that program for running Fastest Gun Alive. I can tell you that we can assign dinner tickets, RV spots. We can send emails out with this program to everybody that's entered to confirmation emails. We can print mailing labels from it. It's really, and it keeps track of all your finances, what entry fees you've collected, all of those sorts of things. But that's the match administration version. We're currently working on that to bring that up to speed again. And then notice right here where it says restore from administrative scoring. This is a new thing we got coming where you can actually, with the original CFDA program that had the entire database in it, with all the shooters' addresses and phone numbers and contact, all that kind of stuff, and all the accounting of the match that I just described, what we're going to have is a way you can use that match administration program to run a major match. Then you can do a backup to basic. You can do a basic backup. And what that means is you can back up all the data, and then you can restore it right here in the basic program. So off of your main database, off of your main match administration thing, say you want to do your category match or whatever, your side matches, whatever you want to do, you can actually restore all of your main match data onto this program, so it's all there. You can do whatever you want with it in this program, and it releases it from the database. So there's no chance that a database error, a wrong keystroke, can affect your scoring in a match. So this is what we're doing. This is the firewall program, basically, where none of that data is in it that can mess up your main match. So that's why the basic is also very important. So with that said, we are going to be running some more webinars as needed with Mongo and Wildshot and myself on those, and possibly CD Tom. And we can accommodate up to 16 people for questions and answers and further education on this program. I've just kind of taken it upon myself on behalf of the beta team to put out this first little series, and there's going to be more to come. So and those will be live webinars. So that can be a lot of fun too. So anyway, nice having you all part of the program, and we'll see you at a shoot.